Youth in a bottle. Where do I start with this absolutely amazing treatment? This is and always will be in my routine. I get so many compliments that my skin glows, and I owe it all to this. I wear it all day and have never had a problem, and my skin is sensitive. Worth the money. My skin has never felt so soft from a single product. I definitely notice a difference in my fine lines, and even my pores are shrinking. So good. There is nothing else like it. There's a reason this has a cult following, and it's because it is so good. It was my gateway into better skincare. Those reviews are for Sunday Riley Good Genes, and those are just some of the reviews. If you look at Good Genes from Sunday Riley, all over the internet, anywhere that you find Good Genes, you will find reviews just like that. Naturally, there's going to be a splattering of people that can't use it. It's too potent for them or whatever. But overwhelmingly, people seem to love this product. This is a lactic acid serum, and lactic acid is an alpha hydroxy acid that is a larger molecule in the alpha hydroxy acid ranges, and it kind of sits on the surface of your skin and helps to soften the skin. It helps to plump the skin because it's a humectant. It helps to alleviate hyperpigmentation, helps with texture and tone. Lactic acid is by far my very, very favorite of all of the alpha hydroxy acids, and that is what is in this Good Genes product. That's the basis for this product. Now, if you live in the UK, it's actually a reformulated product there, and they use glycolic acid. I will definitely be giving some alternatives for Good Genes if you do live in the UK. If you are interested in the version of Good Genes that we have here in the United States, check the description box. I have done a lot of searching to try and find some products that are available for you in the UK that might be similar to the United States version of Good Genes. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're here because Dermatology just launched a new product, and it is called their Lactic Acid Refining Serum, LA Refining Serum. And of course, immediately I got curious about the comparison between these two products because they are both lactic acid refining serums. We are going to compare these two head to head. We're going to look at their ingredient decks. We're going to talk about the percentage of acids in them. We are going to talk about their pH. We're going to talk about the price, the texture, the smell, all of it. We are going to dig in and see if this little new launch from Dermatology is a dupe or is it something more? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Good Genes. Good Genes is, like I said, a lactic acid serum, and it comes in kind of a milky, lotiony serum consistency. So it looks like this, right? Now this one has lemongrass oil in it, and it gives it its very familiar scent. If you are someone who has used this, you recognize that lemongrass scent. Now, lactic acid has a scent of its own. So there is this kind of lemongrass scent with an undertone of that lactic acid scent. Very, very familiar, funky scent, if I'm being honest. It is not purely like lemongrass that you're going to smell in a candle. You get that lactic acid scent underneath the lemongrass oil. Okay, so this is a 7% lactic acid product, and it has a very low pH, and that is part of the reason why it's sort of an infamous product. Its pH is somewhere between 2.6 and 3. It's in a very, very low range on the pH scale. And what that means is that the lower you go in a pH when you are dealing with alpha hydroxy acids, the more free acid is available and the more penetration into the skin you will get. So anytime you have an alpha hydroxy acid, it's not just the percentage of the acid in a product, it is also the pH, and those two things have a very interesting dance between the two of them as to how much a product is going to penetrate your skin. So because Sunday Riley has 7% lactic acid and that super low pH, it has this free acid value that's definitely going to penetrate your skin and effectively give you really strong results. It's going to be an effective acid serum. Okay, now when Dermatology came out with their product, of course, immediately I was interested in the percentage of lactic acid, the ingredient deck overall, and then of course the pH, because like I said, the dance is very important. If the pH of another product, whatever product, is too high, then it really doesn't matter how high, how much lactic acid is in it or whatever, because it won't be effective at too high of a pH. So I reached out to Dermatology to make sure that I had the specs right, and it turns out that this is 12% lactic acid and it has a pH of 3.5 to 4%, somewhere in between 3.5 and 4%. Now, I started doing a little bit of digging about calculating the free acid value, which again, remember, is the relationship between the percentage of the acid and its pH. Now, I am not a chemist and I'm also not a mathematician, so I didn't really want to start, letting you know about algebraic equations or anything like that. None of us want to get in. I just wanted the bottom line. So as I was digging to find that information, I came across Lab Muffin's blog. And if you're not familiar with Lab Muffin, she is a PhD chemist. Her name is Michelle. She has a fantastic YouTube channel, but she also has a really amazing blog. And she actually has a free acid calculator on her blog. And so I'm going to link her blog in the description box. I'm also going to link her channel because honestly, if you are into skincare, you will love her. She has the most amazing, education, top-notch education. Okay, so I was able to calculate the free acid value for each of these so that I could accurately compare its potency, because since the Dermatology has 12% lactic acid and the Sunday Riley has 7% lactic acid, if you weren't really aware of the relationship between the percentage of the acids and their pH, you might think, oh, the Dermatology is going to be a lot stronger because it's 12% lactic acid and this one's only 7%. Well, because the Dermatology has a slightly higher pH than the Sunday Riley, they actually are quite similar as far as their potency, because this one runs in that 3.5 to 4% pH and this one is lower. It's almost like, when you go bra shopping, you can go up in your band size and down in your cup size, or vice versa. Ladies, let me know if you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that. You can play around with the relationship between the pH and the percentage of the acid to get a potency somewhere where it's actually going to work on the skin. So as far as that is concerned, I would rate these very, very similar. So if you are somebody who loves the potency of this one, you'll probably love the potency of this one. Now, what does Dermatology have that Sunday Riley does not have? The Dermatology actually also included polyhydroxy acids and it included mandelic acid. Now, those are not in the Sunday Riley at all. This is purely lactic acid based. So you just get that lactic acid. So in the Dermatology, you get those two different polyhydroxy acids. I think polyhydroxy acid is the wave of the future. I really believe we're going to see more and more and more of that. And the reason for that is they are relatively gentle. They are hydrating acids. They do not cause sun sensitivity, and they're very, very effective. So they're the kind of acids that to me are the wave of the future, and they are in here. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that whenever we see the preservative phenoxyethanol, that is a marker ingredient. And the reason why that's important in any formulation, as far as I'm concerned, is because in the United States, at least, and I believe in the UK as well, phenoxyethanol can only be up to 1% in any formulation. And in the United States, ingredients go in descending order in an ingredient deck. That means when you get down to phenoxyethanol, that is a marker for 1%. Everything that comes after phenoxyethanol is going to be 1% or less. Well, that is where you are going to see in the Dermatology the mandelic acid, the polyhydroxy acids, and the licorice. Now, what that means is those are in 1% or less concentrations in this. I don't think that we should get too hung up in something being 1% or less. It matters the entire formulation, and just because something is at 1% or less doesn't mean it's not going to be an incredible augment to the lactic acid and a helper ingredient. And probably also formulated in those percentages, they're going to be less irritating. So just know that the main star of the show is the lactic acid in this one, just like in the Sunday Riley, but it also has these other acids that are there to help. Now, mandelic acid is derived from almonds, and it is also a larger molecule, a lot like the lactic acid. So it kind of sits on the surface of the skin and does a lot of surface exfoliating, similar to the lactic acid. So it's very gentle, just like lactic acid. So overall, what you have here is a pretty gentle, hydrating, potent serum for exfoliation. Now, both of these brands say that you can use them with other products from their line. So Sunday Riley says that you can layer this over their Luna oil and then you put on your moisturizer after. Dermatology says that you can layer this over their needleless serum at night and then layer some moisturizer afterward for a really nice overnight glow. Now, both of them you can use in the morning if you want to. Just make sure that you wear your sunscreen. A couple ingredient callouts that I do think are pretty important. Good Genes does have Arnica montana in it, and I highlighted that one in red because I know a lot of people are fans of Arnica topically to help with bruising, and they find that ingredient to be very, very helpful. So why would I mark it in red? I mark it in red because Arnica can actually be one of those ingredients that can cause allergic reactions. Frankly, my mom is allergic to Arnica. She will break out in a rash and hives if she uses Arnica topically. So I wanted people to know that that is a potential allergen and something to be aware of. Now, as far as dermatology is concerned, their one call out is the grapefruit peel oil. Now, grapefruit peel oil is obviously a citrus peel oil, and it can cause sun sensitization. Yeah, sun sensitization. Sun sensitization. You know what I'm talking about here. Grapefruit oil is not my favorite thing to see in a product. However, that said, I have reached out to the company to ask them if they could let me know about their distilling process, because there is a way to distill the citrus peel oils so that they no longer cause that sun sensitivity. If that is the case, I will put that in the description box as soon as I hear from them. If it's not the case, then I will definitely give any explanation that I get for that ingredient's presence in the deck. But beyond that, when you are dealing with lactic acid, mandelic acid, any of those kind of sun sensitizing alpha hydroxy acids, you need to be super diligent with your sun protection. So for both of these, regardless of the citrus peel oil, you need to be wearing SPF, full stop, non-negotiable, because they will make you more sensitive to the sun by nature of the alpha hydroxy acid. Now let's talk about price. The Sunday Riley Good Genes is 1 ounce and it's $85. The Dermatology is 1 ounce and it's $62. So it is $23 cheaper per ounce, okay? The other thing about dermatology, of course, is all over the place. I'm sure you see people like me who have a discount code. So my discount code is simply the word PENN, and you get 20% off. So there's really no reason ever to pay full price for anything from dermatology. So effectively, you could get $12 off, $12.40 off, making this just under $50. Now, to be fair, Sunday Riley, of course, can be found on discount sometimes, like when Sephora has their sale, things like that. So it's not like you could never find this one on sale either. So even if we applied the 20% off to this, it is definitely just still more expensive per ounce. So there's that to notate. Both of them come in a glass bottle with a pump. So the Dermatology is actually a very, very similar consistency, almost identical. And because I believe of that grapefruit peel oil, it smells really similar. I mean, really, really similar. Same lactic acid undertone, of course. and then a citrus on top. So all in all, these two products are incredibly similar. Only in my mind, I think that the Dermatology kind of wins out, mostly because its free acid value is going to penetrate your skin. It is in a range that is very, very effective, as of course is the Sunday Riley. It also has those polyhydroxy acids and the additional mandelic acid. So you're gonna get kind of a multi-pronged approach to the exfoliation. Now, both of them also contain yeast, and both of them also contain prickly pear. Now, the reason why that's kind of important is the presence of yeast, which is a moisturizer. It helps to hydrate the skin, along with prickly pear, has been shown to kind of mitigate the irritation of retinols and alpha hydroxy acids, etc. And so those two ingredients together tend to help buffer a product from you sensing that it is irritating your skin, which is really, really interesting. And those ingredients are in both. I am going to fit this into my routine this way. I think once or twice a week, I am going to layer this over needleless serum, and then I'm gonna put on probably the Dermatology Peptide Moisturizer, their night cream, and I'm gonna do an overnight exfoliation. I'm gonna test it out that way and just see how it goes and kind of integrate it into my routine that way. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, and I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this comparison, kind of breaks down what they are. Check out Lab Muffin for sure. Check out her free acid value calculator. Clearly she put some work into it and just put it out there for people to use. That is super duper cool and really fun in the name of science. So definitely check that out. Let her know I said hello and that I'm thankful for her dedication to science. I hope that you have a really wonderful day, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.